In today's lesson, I'm going to teach you how to write and discuss contact details in British English, including full names, street addresses, email addresses, and telephone numbers. So let's start off with names. We say and write our names in the following order: title, first name, middle name, and last name. For example, Mr. John Robert Smith. When speaking or writing anything in a formal situation, it's vital that you use the correct title. If you're addressing a man, the most common title to use is Mr. If you're addressing a woman, you can use Mrs. if she's married or Miss if she is not. And if you're unsure whether or not she is married, you could use Ms. Ms. This also may be used in the case of a divorce. Some job titles come with their own title, such as officer or doctor. The title is usually followed by the full name. For example, Ms. Anna Banana English. Or just by the surname, Ms. English. Why do I say Ms? Everybody knows I'm not married. Miss English, Miss English. To use the title and the first name can seem very childish. Now, Miss Anna, What are you doing, Miss Anna, So I'd suggest that you avoid doing this unless you're speaking to a child. Just a little side note, surname and last name refer to the same thing. My surname is English, my last name is English. Anna English. Okay? The use of middle names, even in formal situations, is rare. Usually they're just used in official documents such as a passport or a driver's license. So if somebody asks you for your name, you probably don't need to give your middle name. So how do you know which parts of a name to use in different scenarios? In a formal situation, such as speaking to a teacher or a professional acquaintance, then it's always best to use the title and surname unless you've been asked to do otherwise. In fact, if in doubt, then the first name and the last name is probably the most polite way to address somebody. And with your friends, family, and even with your colleagues in the workplace, you would probably just use the first name because this is an informal situation. Of course, if you're at work, then you'd only do this with your colleagues, perhaps with your boss or someone who's far superior, and of course with your clients, then that's a formal situation, so that's different. You might not use first names in those situations. Reading a phone number is easy. You simply read each individual number separately. For example, 07123 456 789. Our mobile phone numbers often start with 07, although commonly when speaking, we can say 07 instead of 07. So 07. But the O could be replaced with +44 if you're talking to someone in another country and they need the international dialing code. So +447. Other numbers might take on a slightly different format, like an 0800 number, which is used in business, or an 01 number, which is for landlines and home telephone numbers, but we say them all in exactly the same way, with each number being sounded out separately. On to email addresses and websites. The key symbols to learn when discussing email addresses and websites are, if we see this symbol, we say @ This one is dot. You may also need a dash, an underscore, a slash, but also called a // sometimes. For example, if you wanted to purchase an ebook, then you might go to www.britishenglishpronunciation.com/shop. So if you want to email our good friend Mr. John Robert Smith, he's not a real person. Then you might type in jr.smith@gmail.co.uk or something like that. That's a made-up email address. Do not send anything to that email address. It's not real. Finally, let's talk about street addresses, sometimes referred to as postal addresses. This is what you would write on a letter or tell a friend who plans to visit your home, or a customer who wants to visit your business. We start off with the house number. Sometimes houses don't have a number, they may have a name instead. And this number or name is followed by the street. So you might have number 1, Oxford Street. Or it could be Rose Cottage, Oxford Street. I'm sure there are no cottages on Oxford Street. After this, on the next line, you have the town. Then on the next line, you might have the city. This order starts off with the most specific part of the information and gradually moves further and further out, but you stop before you get to the country. For example, the popular department store Harrods in London can be found at 87 Brompton Road, Knightsbridge, London. After the city comes the postcode. This is a series of letters which is very specific to an area. Harrods postcode is SW1X7XL. And we finish off the address by giving the country, the United Kingdom. So on the letter you would start with the recipient's name, which would be title, maybe the initial and the last name. Then you would write the house number or name, the street, followed by the town, the city, the postcode, and finally the country. Congratulations, you can now discuss your contact details just like any British English speaker, and you could even send a letter to the UK. Thank you for joining in on this lesson. If you aren't already subscribed, then please do take the time to just click that subscribe button and turn on the notifications. If you have time for another lesson, then why not check out one of these?